Shalom and good evening. I am Jonathan Hessen, and this is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. In a joint operation, the IDF and ISA successfully recovered the bodies of 2 Israeli hostages in the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis. The International Atomic Energy Agency has formally censored Iran for failing to comply with its commitments under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. The Islamic Republic of Iran is now threatening to strike across the Middle East, as the United States orders all non-essential personnel to evacuate the region. The IDF, in coordination with the Israel Security Agency, has successfully recovered the remains of 2 Israeli hostages last night in a special operation in the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis. Both hostages were abducted from the community of Nir Oz and murdered by the Iranian-backed Palestinian Islamic Jihad during the October 7th massacre. One of the victims has been identified as 59-year-old Yair Yaakov, who was kidnapped alongside his partner and sons from their home. The identity of the second hostage has not yet been cleared for publication. His family has been notified that his remains were recovered. Meanwhile, visiting Argentinian President Javier Milei addressed Israel's parliament earlier today. During his speech, he underscored that the remains of 4 Argentinian nationals murdered by Palestinian terror groups are still held in Gaza.
Al día de hoy, 55 siguen aún en cautividad, entre los que se encuentran 4 argentinos, Eitan Horn, David y Ariel Cunio y Lior Rudaev. Seguiremos exigiendo su liberación inmediata e incondicional.
It is important to note that President Milei's remarks came prior to the announcement of the IDF-ISA recovery operation. The number of hostages currently held in the Gaza Strip now stands at 53. Also addressing the Knesset, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised President Milei for his unwavering support for Israel throughout the ongoing conflict, now entering its 20th month.
מזה 20 חודשים שאנו נלחמים במפלצות האדם שטבחו, חטפו, ערפו, שרפו ואנסו ב-7 באוקטובר 2023. לנוכח התוקפנות האכזרית וחסרת התקדים הזאת שכוונה נגד אזרחינו ויישובינו, אתה אמרת במילים ברורות, אנחנו לצדכם במערכה מול כוחות החושך. תודה שאתה עומד לצידנו מול המערכה נגד כוחות החושך. אתה התייצבת לצד האמת ונגד השקר, מתוך הבנה שמדובר במלחמה צודקת מאין כמוה. זוהי מלחמת חורמה בברבריות שמאיימת לא רק עלינו, היא מאיימת על העולם כולו.
President Milei in turn emphasized that the free world is engaged in, quote, an existential and moral battle between good and evil. Prime Minister Netanyahu echoed those sentiments, reaffirming Israel's commitment to stand firm on what he called the front lines of the civilized world.
Una nación que se defiende de la barbarie como Israel es considerada la agresora, mientras se tolera de la manera más hipócrita el accionar del terrorismo. Es importante entender que estamos en una batalla existencial y moral entre el bien y el mal, batalla que empezamos a perder en el momento en el que nos volvimos incapaces de distinguir entre uno y el otro.
Israel היא מבצר הדמוקרטיה במזרח התיכון, מוצב קדמי של העולם התרבותי באזורנו, אזור אלים, קשה, קנאי. אם אנחנו חלילה ניפול, זה לא יקרה. אבל אם זה היה קורה, חלקים נרחבים של העולם היו נופלים בידי הקנאים השפלים הללו. אבל אנחנו, כפי שאמרתי, בעזרת השם, לא ניפול ולא ניכנע, אנחנו ננצח. נמוטט את שלטון החמאס ברצועת עזה, נשיב את כל חטופינו הביתה, את כולם, בלי יוצא מן הכלל, החיים והחללים כאחד. נוודא שעזה לא תאיים עוד על ישראל. בתנ"ך כתוב, אני לא יודע איך להגיד את זה בספרדית, מישהו יתרגם את זה עכשיו. הן עם כלביא יקום וכארי יתנשא. זאת היא הרוח של עמנו, זאת הרוח של חיילינו הגיבורים.
The Israeli leader also addressed the growing regional threat posed by Iran, emphasizing what he called the regime's persistent effort to destroy the nation-state of the Jewish people.
משטר הרודנות באיראן עודנו מנסה לשלוח את זרועות הטרור שלו לכל עבר. במלחמה הנוכחית, מלחמת התקומה, ריסקנו חלקים גדולים מציר הרשע של איראן, אבל האיום קיים, ואנחנו נותנים עליו את דעתנו כדי להבטיח את ביטחון ישראל.
Meanwhile, in Austria, in a move that deeply frustrated the Ayatollah regime in Tehran, a joint resolution that was tabled yesterday, brought forward by the United States, France, Britain, and Germany, was passed today at the International Atomic Energy Agency. The resolution formally censors Iran for violating its commitments under the Non-Proliferation Treaty. It was adopted with 19 votes in favor out of the 35 member states, 3 against and 11 abstentions. The Iranian Foreign Ministry and National Atomic Energy Agency issued a joint statement condemning the vote, calling it political, claiming the resolution has completely called into question the credibility and prestige of the nuclear watchdog.
اینکه این گونه القا بکنن که جمهوری اسلامی ایران در چارچوب تکالیف پادمانیش وظایفش رو انجام نداده، این یک دروغ بزرگه. هیچ مستندی در این رابطه وجود نداره. یک مورد گزارش بازرسان آژانس وجود نداره که بر اساس مقررات در اجرای وظایفشون جمهوری اسلامی ایران و سازمان انرژی اتمی مخالفت کرده باشه یا مانع شده باشه. یک مورد و یک کلمه در گزارشاتشون وجود نداره.
Iranian Atomic Energy Organization chief Mohammad Islami vowed a strong response, and within hours the regime announced it would begin to replace outdated IR-1 centrifuges with more advanced IR-6 models at the Forgo nuclear enrichment plant. This move significantly shortens Iran's potential breakout time to a nuclear weapon. At the same time, tensions across the Middle East are rapidly intensifying. The United States has ordered all non-essential personnel to evacuate the region amid growing security concerns.
We're hearing reports that U.S. personnel are being moved out of the region within striking distance.
Well, they are being moved out because it could be a dangerous place, and we'll see what happens. But they are being, we've given notice to move out, and we'll see what happens.
Is there anything that can be done to dial the temperature down in the region?
They can't have a nuclear weapon. Very simple.
Tensions escalated sharply following Iran's outright rejection of long-standing U.S. demand issued by the Trump administration to halt all uranium enrichment. Moreover, in separate congressional hearings in Washington, senior U.S. officials repeatedly affirmed their readiness to confront the Islamic Republic over its race towards attaining nuclear weapons.
As to Iran, they say they want to kill all the Jews. Do you agree with them?
I believe they mean what they chant. Yes, Senator.
Do you agree with that, General King?
Sir, I think they've got some agendas for sure to.
Well, is that agenda to use a nuclear weapon against Israel?
Sir, I think they would potentially.
They had a nuclear weapon. Would they use it against Israel? In your professional military judgment.
Sir, I think they'd use it to pressure Israel. I don't know whether they would use it.
Well, is it 50-50, 60-40, 70-10? What is
Sir,
it?
I don't know what the percentage is.
Well, you can't be wrong, can you? What does Israel think?
Sir, I think they think they would potentially.
What do you
use
think, Mr. Secretary? If they had a nuclear weapon, would they use it to wipe out Israel?
I think Israel believes, quite understandably,
Do you believe that?
That it is an existential
Do
threat
you
to their
believe
existence.
that?
Hold on, and in the hands of the wrong Iranian, a cleric or a radical, that they would seek to
Well,
use
is this a radical cleric that exists there today?
Well, as of
If
right
he's
now,
not,
yes.
who the hell would be? So I'm trying to get everybody to think, let's don't do what we did in the 30s. they're going to use a nuclear weapon if they get it. Are they trying to build a nuclear weapon versus a peaceful nuclear power program, Mr. Secretary? Have the Iranians been trying to build a nuke?
There are plenty of indications that they have been moving their way towards something that would look a lot like a nuclear weapon.
The United States and Israel, in coordination with European allies and other partners, have reportedly been preparing for a large-scale strike targeting Iran's nuclear, ballistic missile, and other strategic infrastructure. In response, the Ayatollah regime is scrambling to project strength.
انشالله که کار به اونجا نکشه گفتگو به نتیجه برسه ولی اگر نرسه به ما درگیری تحمیل بشه قطعاً تلفات طرف مقابل بیشتر از ما خواهد بود و در اون صورت آمریکا باید منطقه رو ترک کنه چون تمام پایگاهاش در دسترس ماست ما دسترسی بهش داریم و بدون ملاحظه همه اونها را در کشورهای میزبان مورد هدف قرار خواهیم داد.
However, it is crucial to note that Iran's threats carry limited credibility, as a full-scale war could result in the collapse of the Ayatollah regime. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. We ask you to keep the hostages and IDF soldiers in your prayers, along with a prayer for the peace of Jerusalem. I am Jonathan Hessen, wishing you a Shabbat Shalom. Looking forward to seeing you during our next update. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.